Today we're going to see a Bitcoin move no one's expecting.
Today for the Bitcoin price with DavinciJ15, we will be talking about Bitcoin because, guys, we made it. The third halving is finally over and yes, Bitcoin is getting more scarce. But of course, we do want to focus here on the price of Bitcoin right now and the simple fact that DaVinci has identified a pattern in the charts which indicates that maybe a move no one is expecting right now is coming up for Bitcoin. We will go deep into the charts and tell you exactly what move we are expecting for Bitcoin in the immediate short term. We will show you our trading setup and all the price targets. So make sure you take a seat, guys, and you watch the video all the way through, because in the second part of the video, we will be going into the Paul Tudor Jones news. You know, this big billionaire which started investing into Bitcoin, and we will tell you exactly why this might be very interesting here, especially in regards to institutional investors joining the space, because there are crazy developments on the CME futures exchange. So we will be talking about all of that. You do not want to miss out on that first post-halving episode actually here on our channel. And now we really want to come to the most important question of today. DaVinciJ15, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Happy happening. I hope you enjoyed your happening. I noticed that everybody was asking me, how happy happening and how was my happening, and I'm like, is that a thing now? Exactly. What do you think?
DaVinci, I mean, you are here since 2011. Some people say since 2009. This is your third halving, actually. So you have, you went through all of these halvings, and you said that all of the previous ones you saw were not like that, right? I mean, you are the OG. You can tell us.
Exactly. I mean, nobody cared. It just came and went. It was just another day. While everybody was making a big deal and had parties and stuff like that. What the heck? Oh, wow. You know, I guess that's just going to be a thing now.
I mean, fundamentally, it's a big thing for Bitcoin. And it really, this mechanics, even though they should be priced in, it's hard coded in the Bitcoin blockchain already. These mechanics significantly impact, the deflationary state of Bitcoin. And of course, that's important in the very long run. However, in the short run, it's like zero impact on the Bitcoin price, of course, like talking about the daily candles. However, let's go into the charts and let's see what the daily candles or whatever the 4-hourly candles provide for us, because you have been saying prior to the recording that there are very interesting developments on the charts right now and that there might be a move coming up which the majority is not expecting right now.
Yeah, well, as you see, we had our weekly close, and it was kind of sad. We got a red candle on the weekly close. And we're not doing much right now on the this week, right? We just went down a little bit and retested. Looking at this, looks like we could roll over and come back down to retest the 13 EMA. What's up?
Just a quick question. I can see here, I just wanted to bring it up again. This red area, it's the selling area for shorts. And I just wanted to say how nice it is to see here how previously this 3 candles here at 10,000, they were actually rejected at that area. And once again, we were rejected here last week in May, once again at that area. So everyone who was actually shorting from that area, I wasn't, I want to be honest here, was making very nice profits along the way. So it seems like this shorting area seems to be very, very tough, and we have to surpass that. So do you think the next move you want to talk about now is going to bring us back into that area, or will there be some more fights coming up?
Well, let's talk about that. That's a 61.8, and basically in this reddish zone is where you would have the shorts would start going and pushing down on the market. It's called the reload zone, or the trade location, right? Some people would call it. And it's basically an area where if you want to take a short on Bitcoin is where you'd probably do your short. So let's head over to the 4-hour. But before we do that, right, yesterday for their Bitcoin halving, what we have is what's called a Darth Maul candle. Right? And the reason why it's called a Darth Maul candle, right, you can see he's got the double lightsaber, right? And so what happened yesterday is that all the longs got wiped out and all the shorts got wiped out. So nobody did anything for a little while, not too long, like 4 or 5 hours. And then, as you can see, this green candle up. All right, now on to the 4-hour, which we have a nice trade opening up for us that I'm going to actually take and also present in my group. in Pandora's Wallet Group. Basically, this is a Dabo trade, and we can see that because it creates what's called a W on the OBV and a W on the Willy and the RSI. And once they line up, what you do is you take the opening of the last candle on this period, which is a 4-hour. You go back 4 candles and you go to the lowest point in the 4 candles. So if one of these candles are even lower, that's going to be your stop loss. So my stop loss in this case is, if I'm wrong, is yeah, there we go. So that's 8,466, and we're going to enter this at $8,820. But we can also, you can see that the market's coming back, so we can also go down to a lower time frame to see if we can time our trade so that we can get a little better positioning, and obviously play from a position of strength. And then we take this trade all the way up to the $9,530, and you're like, what? Are you crazy? Well, come on. You know what? The institutions, they missed out the boat on the weekend, as you can see from the CME, right? And so when institutions move,
the plane was nice. Was it a plane which can fly through the gap?
Yeah, exactly.
Last time you dig the truck. Nice. All right. I didn't want to interrupt.
So the institutional players, they missed this boat, so there's a good probability they're gonna bring the boat back in order so they can get into the short. So look out for that. So that's a possibility, but no guarantees from the management. This trade could go against me, so keep that in mind. Make sure that you only bet what you're willing to lose on this trade. Now, let me explain a little bit about Japanese candlesticks for any of the audience out there that doesn't know what a Japanese candlestick is. Basically, each candle, right, represents a period, and this period is a day period. So every candle represents one day. The top of the candle, on a red candle, the top of the candle is the opening, and the bottom of the candle is the closing. The wicks is where price action actually went between that period, and this is a day period, so that means price went all the way down to that level here, which was the hair is exactly 8,090, and then it also went as high as $9,616, and basically closed at $8,730 before it started the next day. And that's how you read a Japanese candle. So, and the green is just the opposite. So the bottom is the opening, and the top is the close. Exactly. And that's how you read Japanese candles. And that's what happened in this dark mode candle. You can see the market actually wiped out both sides of the trade.
Of course, okay. But thank you very much for sharing these trading setups. I do really appreciate it. I know the community appreciates it. Just to put it together here, your own personal entry point will be right over there. Then you will be you will have your stop loss at 8,400 something. I mean, we will just share it in our Telegram group. Exactly, and your take profit will be, at least the first one will be at $9,530. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Everyone wants to see that, guys, very, very easily. If you just go here down to the pinned comment and you click on more here, you find below our free bonus links also our free Telegram group with DavinciJ15. Of course, you find DaVinci's channel, you find Pandora's wallet, all of that, all of these links here with the bonuses. Just go to the pinned comment and you explore it a little bit, and you can take advantage of all of that. Thank you so much for that, DaVinci. And as I've been saying here, you are here for a long, long time. So always when very important things are happening, it's very good to ask you for your opinion. And I wanted to pick up on your brain here for about one specific news, and this is about Paul Tudor Jones, which is a legendary trader, investor, billionaire whatsoever, and he recently, as everyone already knows, announced that he is investing up to he already invested up to 2% of his wealth in Bitcoin, which is actually 100 million US dollars, and unfortunately he's doing that in cash settled futures. However, guys, I wanted to tell you something. He is a very, very smart guy. DaVinci, you will share a little bit about his history, and he has a lot of smart and big people following him. And I wanted to tell you something, guys. Today I met with a trader here in Koh Phangan, Thailand, and he also told me about the same thing which I already recognized. And he told me that right now he himself is actually also trading on the CME, the few Bitcoin futures on the CME. And he told me, look at this headline here, that ever since Paul Tudor Jones announced that, the volume on the CME was increasing significantly, and big, very big, I'm talking about very big traders, they weren't able to trade on the CME, they weren't able to trade Bitcoin on the CME because the volume was just too low. I mean, it was big enough for retail investors and for bigger traders, but for the big players, for the very big players, the volume was not high enough. And ever since Paul Tudor Jones came out and he announced that he is buying, or that he was buying Bitcoin, at this specific point of time, the volume on the CME increased so significantly that we can say right now, with the current volume we are having, this is a playground for institutional players. Finally, we can say that. Of course, time will tell if this remains to be the same. And of course, we can ask ourselves, do we really need institutions? Bitcoin is decentralized, it is money, and do we even want these institutions? But guys, this is significant liquidity entering the space. And now, after I shared my opinion, I wanted to know from you, DaVinci, what do you think about that news? What do you think about Paul Tudor Jones joining the space? What do you think about the impacts here liquidity-wise? And what is your prediction for that going forward?
Well, this is a good and bad thing, because remember, on the CMA, this is cash settled, so that means there's no Bitcoins trading hands. However, these guys are crooked, so they will be pushing the markets, and the best way for them to do that is, of course, they just have to use a small amount of cash and purchase actual real Bitcoin on the open market in order to push the market in the direction that they want. Now, keep in mind with the CME that there are some rules with the CME that you don't know about. One of the rules is that you cannot have more than a 5% position long, but you can have an unlimited position short. You can actually triple up the market short if you wanted to, right? And that's not illegal. The reason why is because, for obvious reasons, right? Commodities, right, are basically what everything is priced in a dollar is. Everything that you can purchase around the world is priced in dollars. So all commodities you need to purchase from Chile, from Russia, from China, you have to pay in dollars. And so if somebody tries to bid up the price, right, then that will actually cause the dollar value to go down. So obviously they don't want that to happen. So of course they make it illegal for you to long and bid up the price on the futures market. Now, I really think that these guys are going to trade the market, but I don't think it's going to start right away. The reason why is because even though there's probably more volume recently, it takes a while for those industry players to go, okay, well, wait a second here. We've got more volume here, but we have to wait until this is a consistent thing, because if this goes away, right, we can't trade here anymore. So yes, institutions are coming in, but I don't see that, not in a big way, until probably the next 18 months, you're going to see them probably really ramp up. And here, let's just bring up that chart with the airplane. Sorry. And as you can see, there's a nice big gap where the institutions, they missed out on the weekend. So you could drive a plane through that, right? You can see that the volume has been increasing, yes. And that also denotes that Bitcoin's ready to actually move, right? Because you can see that also on the regular markets. Let's see here, we have perpetual swaps. You can see that on the Bitstamp market, that volume is ramping up on the dailies, and that's a good thing for for us to see Bitcoin moon is we see volume start to ramp up. So that's a great thing to see, and I'm really happy about that.
So thank you for going back into the phase mode, and I agree with you. It is a good thing and a bad thing. One thing is for sure, though. One thing is a very good thing about Paul Tudor Jones buying Bitcoin, because this guy is a very, very smart guy, and he is buying Bitcoin for a reason. He is buying it as a hedge against inflation. He even said it like that. And a 2% position in a 5.1 billion US dollar portfolio is huge, even for a conservative guy. He is 100 million. This is also a lot of money for him. And guys, if a smart guy like this is doing that, and you still have doubts, where is Bitcoin going to be in a year or in 2 years, you might as well ask yourself, why is the smart money buying Bitcoin right now? Why is a guy like him buying it? And why is he actively, publicly, even saying that he is doing so? I mean, he is really risking his own reputation here if he would be buying something which is likely to go to zero very, very soon. And DaVinci, I mean, this guy has been around for ages. You have been telling me about a story from the 80s. So can you maybe shed some light on that, how smart this guy actually is and how good he is at predicting things?
Yeah, Paul Tudor Jones was made famous because he predicted the 87 stock market crash, and then they created a whole documentary on him. And I really think he's doing this for a hedge against inflation. But I have to ask him one question about that. What happens if nobody wants a dollar at one point? Well, what are you going to do then? Yeah. You got lots of dollars from your CMA trade. Exactly. What's it worth if nobody's willing to give you a Bitcoin for it or gold for it? It's not worth anything. Exactly.
He should have chosen at least like Bitcoin settled futures, because if he really wants to have a hedge against hyperinflation and people losing completely their trust and no one wants dollars in the end, then of course Bitcoin settled futures. So just buying Bitcoin on spot might have been the wise decision, but he is probably not buying these futures to hold them for 5 or 7, 8 years. He will probably settle them in a year or two or whatever, and the likelihood of the US dollar going to zero within a year or two is pretty low, I would say. I mean, I'm still expecting a deflationary period before. However, DaVinci, thank you so much for that thoughts. This was a completely bullish episode for the long run, especially considering the Paul Tudor Jones news, and it was a slightly bullish news here for the short run. Let's see how it goes for our trade. And DaVinci, I really wanted to ask you also, do you have anything to share here before we wrap up today's episode?
We're working hard on Pandora's wallet still. We're a little behind on adding Ethereum, only because we've been working on the payment processor and stuff like that, because we went like a lot of sales have just gone. Our sales have gone ballistic, and so we have to do some work there. And also, a lot of people are joining the Pandora's wallet Telegram group, and I do live videos there. I'm no longer doing live videos. I'm going to be doing short videos, less than 15 minutes. And if you want to see my live videos, you're going to have to subscribe to Pandora's wallet and join that group, and where I do private live videos where I answer your questions directly live for you. All right, so thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And everyone who is asking, well, how can I get that? How can I take advantage of that? Well, guys, it is the old game. Go to our pinned comment, and on the top here today, you will find the Bybit link and the Phemex link. This is only for experienced traders, but if you want to take this trading setup, you are experienced, you made your own TA, well, you might as well click one of these links, deposit 0.2 or 0.5 Bitcoin and get these free bonuses only as experienced trader. But you will also find, I will put it more here up in the pinned comment, so you'll find it easily, the link for Pandora's wallet, and you can click this link here, this specific link, and then take your monthly or whatever yearly plan for Pandora's wallet. It is an amazing product, and you should take advantage of that. So thank you so much for that, DaVinci. And I can't wait for the next update, man. It's amazing to talk with you here during these very, very interesting times about the Bitcoin price, about macroeconomics, monetary policy, and so on. So thank you so much for that. And right now I wanted to ask the very last question for today. Do you have any words to share with us before I wrap it up?
Yeah, always play from a position of strength and don't get wrecked.
Do not get wrecked, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto already tomorrow. And as always, click the subscription box right here. The YouTube algorithm is changing. You know all the flaws, so click it right now. Otherwise, you will be missing out on time-sensitive content in the future. And also click the Bible tutorial, which is popping up right here. And as always, guys, bye-bye.